Jamal Murray led the Denver Nuggets in Game 1 with an unconscious performance. Could he keep it going in Game 2 with Kevin Durant and the Suns looking to even this best-of-7 series up at 1? First quarter, DeAndre Ayton down low with the old alley-oop. He vowed that the Suns would be more physical in this one. Speaking of physical, Nikola Jokic, the grown man deuce. Other end we go is Kevin Durant for show. A beautiful up fake gets Aaron Gordon off his feet. Durant makes the deuce. And then his new get-a-bucket teammate, Devin Booker, nails a three. Phoenix, though, did struggle from behind the line. Just 6 of 31 from distance. That's 19% for the Suns. Other end we go, Uncle Jeff. It's like, I'm not going to shoot no three, but you know what your old uncle can do? He can get to the rim and still throw it down. 16 years in, Jeff Green still doing phenomenal things. Denver's up a point. Nasty move here from Booker. Ooh, he freezes Denver and then nails the three. And then right before the half, how about Jamal Murray and the Nuggets unable to get a shot off? Not a lot of offense in this one. 42-40, Suns led it at the half. Both these teams could have used Rocky out there for some much-needed offense. Third quarter, Booker nailing the deuce. And then Kevin Durant gets a look and he nails it. All things considered, if you're Denver, you got to live with this. It took Booker 29 shots to get 35 points and Durant 27 shots to get 24 points. And then bad news for Chris Paul. As you see, battling with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope down low, CP3 grabbing at that groin. He would leave the game and not return. Could be a huge storyline in this series going forward. Could the Suns get it done without their point guard? It's Booker scored. KCP nailed all 4 of his threes. That one puts the Nuggets up by 3. In the fourth, it's Jokic time. The Joker going glass. And then a little two-man game between the two guys that had it going for Denver. Baby, I know that it's gonna rain. Murray only had 10 points, but that deuce was big time. And then Denver putting away game 2, just like they put away game 1. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. His mama named him Nikola. I call him Nikola Jokic. 39 points, 26 came in the second half. Also managed to get 16 rebounds, 5 assists. His Nuggets now take a commanding 2-game-to-zip series lead over the Suns. What's up, everybody? It's yours truly, the one and only. We got some real good momentum on the platform. My goal has always been 100,000 subscribers by the end of this playoffs. If you're enjoying the great quality content, make sure you subscribe to the platform for more of your boy. Appreciate the love. Well, I'm now 2 games away from being wrong about this series. Give the Nuggets all the credit in the world. Jamal Murray ain't bring his A game. He had been bailing out the Nuggets in a few of these games thus far in this playoffs with just unreal shooting. This wasn't that. This was about Nikola Jokic not allowing his team to lose. It was just him putting the team on his back and delivering. Nuggets only had 97 points. Joker had 39 of them, had 5 assists. So when you're looking at offense, we're talking about easily about 50 points of offense running through one guy who the offense for Denver oftentimes, more times than not, runs through. So beautiful performance from Nikola Jokic. You know, we talked about this on the platform a couple times. I'll bring it up again. I thought Nikola Jokic made a decision late in the season. He made a decision to choose the playoffs over the MVP award. Here's the reality. Joel Embiid took the MVP lead late. Let's call a spade a spade. Nikola had one way to get that MVP, and that one way was to average a triple-double. The Nuggets started struggling towards Marches. They had a couple little struggle games in there, and it looks like Nikola made the decision to sit it down. He said, yo, I'm not going for that triple-double. He started, being more concerned about being physically in the best shape and being ready to go, not being banged up going into the playoffs. Even when he was playing, his mind clearly wasn't on double-digit assists like it had been previously. That might be the difference in the Nuggets season. That decision, and I'm sure we're going to hear stories about it. I haven't heard him really speak much about it publicly. But to me, for what I saw, was a clear decision from Nikola. I mean, that would have been a historic feat for a center to average a triple-double, Jokic said, you know what? Right now, my mind is on something else, and I think it will play dividends. Look, a guy of that talent, hey, he can maybe win an MVP, win a triple-double award. He could average a triple-double next year, right? This is a run, though. The Denver Nuggets are healthy now, and Jokic knows better than anybody that these opportunities don't come around too often with a team, knock on wood, as healthy as Denver is at this point in the year. The chance to win a championship and become legendary is now, and it looks like the Nuggets are seizing that moment. They got me looking crazy on my prediction. I'll take it on the chin. Nikola definitely deserves credit for a phenomenal game, too. That was all about him, and KCP showed up late to kind of pick up some of the slack for Jamal Murray. Now, let's swing over to Phoenix. Obviously, the Suns are holding their breath, in regards to Chris Paul and another injury. It just becomes, this is a trend here. Chris Paul in these playoffs, he just is not holding up. He's just not, it just is what it is. We now have enough evidence that shows towards this part of the year, Chris Paul physically does not look like the same player. Obviously, everybody's got something going on, but I'm saying Chris Paul literally breaks down year in, year out in the playoffs. And I think he's just going to continue to stay up at night over letting Giannis and the Bucks win that one. That's the one. That was the one where he looked pretty darn good for as long a period of time. I don't know when Chris Paul returns, if at all in this series. He might be ready to go game 3. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not. I know he's hurting. Chris Paul is the ultimate competitor. To keep him out of that game, in which the Suns had a really good chance of winning before he went down, if you look at that game, it definitely changed once Chris Paul left. Pretty much that meant Durant and Booker were on their own to call their own shots. And I just thought that offense fell apart. It became an ISO show. And to be honest with you, Booker and Durant, they got their numbers, but it was very difficult. They pretty much got to 60, but it took them a lot of shots to get there. A lot of shots to get there. You live with that. You definitely got to live with that. What did it take them? I think I'm doing some math off the top of my head. What was that, 62 shots to get to 59 points? I think that's the number. I think that's what it was off the top of my head. Your boy used to be really good at math. Don't sleep on me. I think that's what the numbers were. That's a lot of shots. And I keep hearing everybody, and I want to address this. I keep hearing people say the Phoenix Suns don't have a bench. That's not true. If you look at that Suns team, go look right around when they acquired Kevin Durant. Obviously, he was hurt when the Suns made the trade with the Nets. That Suns bench could score. You talking about guys like Cam Payne. You talking about guys, I know Wainwright's not in the series. He was getting some numbers. Josh Okogie had a couple big games. If you go look at that Suns squad, their bench can score. That's not what's happening right now. Terrence Ross, by the way, they acquired. What's happening right now is there are not enough shots for the bench. At the end of the day, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, it's going to be tough to tell them, let somebody else shoot. There's a better shot out there better than you. It's Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. More times than not, they can justify their bad shot being better than another teammate's wide open good shot, right? The reality is Booker and Durant, the way they play, it just doesn't allow for a lot of shots for other guys. That Suns bench ain't bad. I know they're not a bad. That's not a bad bench. By the way, they got some guys on that bench that can score. They're not given the opportunity to score right now. Obviously, a guy like Bismack Biyombo is not going to score. But other than that, the Suns definitely got some guys that can put the ball in the basket. You telling me Terrence Ross couldn't help this team at all right now? I'm telling you, this is not about the Suns not having guys on the bench that can't get a bucket. Right now, though, I'm sure everybody's looking around like, we got Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker's been balling. They got to shoot the ball. Not to mention DeAndre Ayton's still out there, a former number 1 overall pick. If you look at the mentality of a guy that was number 1, I mean, hell, Jokic was nowhere near number 1, right? You got a guy who's been the leader or one of the leaders, probably one of the top 2-3 scorers his entire life on the court. He's probably never been a 4th option on a basketball team. So I'm sure DeAndre Ayton's like, I got to get my shot. I got to get some. All the leftovers got to go to me, baby. And then Chris Paul is still Chris Paul when he's out there. He's going to find a shot somewhere in the offense. There's just not a lot of shots for other guys on the court. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, there's not many moments in a game where they're not playing right now. Both those dudes play upwards of 41, 42 minutes in this game. So I think people are giving Durant and Booker a cop-out by saying, yo, they don't got a bench right now. That's not what's going on right now. They don't allow these guys to take shots. And right now the Suns are in a bad spot because I'm looking at how Denver played. They played pretty bad outside for Jokic. They're going to probably get one of these games in Phoenix, which means the Suns will be down 3-1. That's assuming they win in Phoenix, which I do think that energy is going to shift. We get to Phoenix. But again, the Nuggets are going to get at least one in Phoenix, I believe. I do believe that with the way they played. They're due for a good game again. If you look, they haven't really put together 2 bad games in a row. So assuming that they have a good game, games 3 or 4, Chris Paul's condition, his health, and where he's at right now with that groin injury, we could easily be looking at a 3-1 series heading back to Denver for game 5 in about a few days' time here. That is, look, man, in a weird way, this series kind of resembles that Nets Celtics series last year. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it does so far. Kevin Durant had 7 turnovers in game 1. Last year, the Celtics blitzed them. This year, the Nuggets blitzed them. I'm looking at, a very awful shooting game for a guy that's always been great and always been efficient shooting the ball. Okay, they're down 2 games. If they get swept, we got to have some combos about Durant. And it's going to be very uncomfortable. You know, we give credit to KD oftentimes for being a guy that could fit into any lineup seamlessly. I'm starting to question, is that a good thing? Maybe he fits in a little too well. Like, maybe it would be a little better if the system was adjusted a little bit for Durant, because right now you could just plug him in and, it's a make or miss league at the end of the day. And a game like this, Durant missed. Game 1, he turned it over. The reality is the Suns are down 2-0. And we'll see what happens in Phoenix, Arizona. Let me know your thoughts on these 2 games we've had here in the Mile High. It's been quite the entertaining watch, but it does end up with the Suns down 2-0 and maybe down their point guard. I'm out.